Tracee Robertson, Director of the Wichita Falls Museum of Art at MSU, Texas. This video dives deeper into the current exhibition, Visions of the West. I hope it piques your interest to see the show in person and to learn more on your own. In my final video tour of this exhibition, I've selected a small, stark print by the well-known Texas artist Blanche McVeigh. The print is titled Furrows from 1935. McVeigh was born in Missouri in 1895 and grew up in Fort Worth. She sought art education widely, attending the Philadelphia Academy of Fine Arts, the Art Institute of Chicago, Washington University in St. Louis, and the Art Students League in New York City, as well as travels in Europe. With other artists, McVeigh established the Fort Worth School of Fine Arts in 1931 and taught figure drawing and etching. She was also part of forming the Fort Worth Artists Guild, an organization that provided exhibition opportunities for local artists. She was active in artist clubs and guilds and received accolades for her work during her lifetime. Her works are in the collections of prestigious national museums such as the Library of Congress, the Carnegie Institute, Princeton University, and the Smithsonian Institute, as well as the Dallas Museum of Art and the Amon Carter Museum of American Art. McVeigh was associated with a group of artists active from 1945 to 1955 called the Fort Worth Circle. This group worked parallel to the Dallas Nine, which I introduced to you in the last video. While the two groups of artists shared similar European influences, the Dallas Nine portrayed the land, and by the looks of their art, the artists of the Fort Worth Circle embraced a different side of modernism. Their subjects were more urban, abstract, and ephemeral, with the colorful expression found in Surrealism and Cubism. Learn more, in fact, about these artists in an upcoming virtual tour by the Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth. My own discovery of McVeigh's work began with her piece in the collection of the College of Visual Arts and Design at the University of North Texas, titled MerryGoRound from 1930. This is a richly toned print depicting a merry-go-round set up in a clearing of tall trees. In person, the intense darks of this print have a soft, warm texture that contrasts with the blank and downcast expressions on mostly female faces. Given what we can see of McVeigh's work online, this print's extreme darks and lights and caricatured facial expressions are typical of her style. In Europe, McVeigh pursued Aquatind etching. Aquatind offers artists a way of achieving tonal values that look like ink washes and create shaded areas from light to dark that convey the intensity we see in MerryGoRound. The Metropolitan Museum of Art tells us how Aquatind works. The plate is dusted with finely powdered resin and then heated until the resin melts in tiny mounds that harden as they cool. Acid is applied to the metal plate and bites channels around the resin droplets. The resulting microscopic reticulation will hold more or less ink, depending upon how long or how deeply the acid is allowed to penetrate the plate. Tones ranging from light gray to velvety black can thus be printed. Our print, Furrows, uses both Aquatind and dry point etching, which means McVeigh used two different techniques for applying line to this plate. Dry point involves drawing directly onto the plate, incising lines in the metal with a tool rather than with acid. It appears to me McVeigh may have used dry point to achieve the outlines of the house and barn, the fence posts, the tops of the furrows, and the lone wind-whipped tree. The WFMA's print looks at first glance akin to the aesthetic and subject familiar to the Dallas Nine, and a little stark and out of place in comparison to McVeigh's other works. What do we see? A fence post made of cut tree limbs curves in the foreground around a winding lane that leads to a barn in the distance. Deep furrows of bare earth lay in parallel lines from the foreground back to the barn. They angle upward to the sky, from the lower right to the upper left of the composition, pointing to a farmhouse on the horizon and a center point of the scene where undulating clouds curve around the rooftops. I see sharp shadows on the buildings. It's a sunny day. A wind-whipped tree also curves toward this center point. It's a winter scene. There are no leaves on the tree and no crops in the furrows. The lines of the sky and the land are all curvy, while the simple architecture stands straight and angular. There is an overall sense of shimmering movement, in contrast to the stillness of scenes by the Dallas Nine. I can feel the crisp wind and the winter sun. In the far distance, near a barn wall, a silhouetted figure steps toward a standing horse. The person's arms are outstretched, as if feeding or greeting the horse. It seems a minute gesture of tenderness in this vast and surging landscape.